Okay, 6th grade. Here is lesson 2.1, Interpret Rational Numbers. Our learning goal is to find and use absolute values and the opposites of a number to solve real-world problems. I want you to go ahead and read through the Spark Your Learning, pause it and work it out, and then press play when you're ready to go over it. All right, so Spark Your Learning. The magnitude of a star is a number that is a measure of its brightness as seen on Earth. The brighter the star, the lower its magnitude. The data below shows the magnitudes of 5 stars in our galaxy. Between what two consecutive integers is the magnitude of each star located? In most applications, the magnitude of a number is its size or amount. However, when talking about the magnitude of a star, magnitudes include negative numbers. So we needed to figure out what two whole numbers or integers these are between. So we have Polaris, which is 1.97. So that would be between 1, and then there's 1.97, and 2. Sirius is negative 1.54. So that would be, if I were on a number line, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 1.45 would be in here, so it's between negative 2, then there's negative 1.45, and then negative 1. Hadar, we'd have to ask Mrs. Heisel about these names, is 0.61, so that's between 0 and 0.61 and 1. Arcturus is negative 0.54. So if I look at the number line I drew, 0.04 would be over here somewhere. So 0, negative 0.04, and negative 1. And then the last one, I'm going to squeeze it on the side here, I wrote too big, is Canopus. And it says negative 0.72. Well, that's again, it's in this section between 0 and negative 1. All right, so we thought about the number line. Where does that decimal fall between what two whole numbers? All right, here's the next page. The average low temperature in Nome, Alaska in January is a rational number, negative 2.8 degrees Fahrenheit. It's important to remember that a rational number, it's right over here, can be written in the form A over B. So basically a rational number is any number that we can write as a fraction. All right, A, consecutive marks on a number line increase and decrease by the same amount. What marks would you need to graph negative 2.8 on a number line? So let's draw a number line to help us. We have 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Well, negative 2.8 is right here, so we need this section. So we need negative 2 and negative 3 to be able to graph that. So they're kind of asking what would be our whole numbers. Is it between? Number 2, or letter B, between what two consecutive integers is negative 2.8 located on the number line? Negative 2.8 is between the integers negative 2 and negative 3. That's what we just saw on our number line. How would you graph negative 2.8 on a number line? I would plot 8/10 to the left of negative 2. So if we didn't want to use whole numbers, we could do negative 2, negative 2.1, negative 2.3, negative 2.2, negative 2.3, and so on until we got to negative 2.8. Complete this statement to describe the position of negative 2.8 compared to 0. Negative 2.8 is blank units to the blank of 0. So how far away is it from 0? Well, it's 2.8 units. And it's negative, so it's to the left of 0. What is the opposite of negative 2.8? The opposite of negative 2.8 would be positive 2.8 units to the right of 0. So opposite, left and right. So the opposite of negative 2.8 is positive 2.8. And it asks you to graph negative 2.8 and its opposite. So 2, and looks like they're counting by tenths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's negative 2.8. And then positive 2.8 would be over here. All right, let's see. Number 2. The legs of a display swing set are buried in the ground as shown. The marks on the number line, what marks on the number line would you need to graph 1/2? We would need marks that are measured in half units. Describe the position of 1/2 on a number line. 1/2 is between the integers. So thinking about a number line, actually they have one right here for us. Our 1/2 would be between 0 and 1. 1/2 is blank units to the blank of 0. So what's its distance? It's 1/2 unit to the right because it's positive. The opposite of 1/2 will be 1/2 unit to the left of 0. So the opposite of 1/2 is negative 1/2. Boys and girls, opposites of decimals and fractions are the same as opposites of whole numbers. Just add the opposite sign, the negative sign, or take it away. It's still going to be the same distance from 0, but on opposite sides of 0. Then it wants us to graph 1/2 and its opposite on the number line. So it's directly in the middle of both of those. There we go. All right, let's look at the next page. In a previous lesson, you found the absolute value of integers. You can find the absolute value of rational numbers in the same way. So remember, absolute value is the distance from 0. We can just count the distance from 0. It's always positive. Number 3, the lowest elevation at Death Valley National Park is approximately negative 0.05 miles. What distance is this from sea level? Okay, so how far from sea level is it? Well, it's 0.05 mile. Between what two consecutive integers is negative 0.05 on the number line? So if you need to, draw your number line, -1, -2, and 1. So it's a negative number. It's not a very big negative number. So it's between 0 and 1. I'm sorry, -1. It's between 0 and -1. Complete the number sentence. The absolute value, so remember this means absolute value of negative 0.05 is 0.05. Even though it's a decimal, it's still just the positive distance from 0. Number 4, Mrs. Sutter withdraws money from the bank. The withdrawal transactions are recorded on her bank statement. Find the absolute value of each withdrawal. I want you to go ahead and pause and do A, and then hit play and check your work. All right, so remember, absolute value is always a positive number. So I just took the negative sign off of each of those to get the positive absolute value. Which is greater, negative 7.1 or negative 3.0? Which is a greater withdrawal? Explain. Okay, so this is asking two different questions. At first, it just asks which one of these integers is greater. Well, the greater one would be the one closer to 0 or the one on the right. So negative 3.50 is greater because it's further to the right. on the number line. Then it asks us which is a greater withdrawal, $7.10 or $3.50. So when you think about that, which one is taking more money out of your bank account? And in that case, $7.50 is a greater withdrawal. Or $7.10 is a greater withdrawal, sorry. Because the absolute value is larger. We know that $7.10 is more than $3.50 when we're thinking about taking money away from ours. Okay, so when it's just an integer, it's different than when we're thinking it in context of our bank. All right, so I want you to go back to Canvas and make sure that you've finished your vocabulary for this unit and you are finished for the day.